everybody. Sorry this lecture's coming so late. I filmed it and uploaded it on Sunday and then just realized it didn't work. Holy crud. So I'm redoing this. This is the second time I've taught this. How funny. This week, I know many of you everyone has picked their stuff and everyone is casting right now and getting ready to start rehearsal. So I thought I'd do a lecture on the next bit of this, which is rehearsal, casting, prepping your book, pre-blocking, analysis, blocking, actual language, and organization. As you can see, this is a picture of me in rehearsal during Tech Week for Annie, and it is still to this day the largest cast I've ever worked with. I'm not sure I will work with a bigger cast than 150 people. I mean, that was pretty freaking special. So, a lot of the pictures today will actually be from my productions because internet has been shoddy here. So sorry about that. I'll talk about each one as I go. Oh, here's a lovely picture of the globe. Chloe recognizes that, don't you, Chloe? First thing we're going to talk about is casting, and I'm going to teach you guys Carrie's kind of philosophy on casting. There is a huge movement kind of going out now that I strongly agree with, which is casting against type, aka casting the best actor. Type does not really exist. What does type mean? You might say, let's say that Juliet has to be a small, skinny girl. And that's just not true. We all know plenty of 16-year-old girls that do not look like the standard Juliet. Why are we not casting them to play Juliet? All it says in the script is that she has to be a 16-year-old girl. Why are we so against that kind of thing? Saying that like the hero has to, look like Chris Pratt or any of the Hollywood Chris's. Why can't it look like an average Joe guy? That kind of thing. That's what we mean. That's what I mean by casting the best actor or casting against type. Don't worry so much about if they look like the character. Remind yourself that like looks usually were set up by a bunch of white straight men back in like the 20s. And that's not really who has to play those roles. So as you guys are picking people, don't worry so much about what people look like. Have them read the text and see if they can do it. Okay. Especially when it comes to people of color and women. We need to cast more of those kind of people on stage. A lot of you, I don't think were here to see it, but I directed my first show with cast was actually Baskerville. And I'm pretty sure everybody thought I was crazy, but I cast Chibuza to be Sherlock Holmes. That's right, I cast a black plus-size woman to play Sherlock Holmes, and she killed it. And I think a lot of the time we get caught up in like, she doesn't look like Sherlock Holmes. No, but she's exactly the type of person that Sherlock Holmes would be. She encompasses his persona. And yes, she played him as a man. We didn't play her as a female Sherlock Holmes. It was just happened to be a black woman playing Sherlock Holmes. Whatever. And I've continued to cast that way ever since. If you guys saw Company this last year, my Bobby was not your standard Bobby. This year at North Dakota Shakespeare, I've got a woman playing Vergis, a woman playing Conrad, and a woman playing Leonardo. And they're killing it. They're doing great. So there's lots of interesting casting choices out there. And you'll only limit yourself by being caught up in this awful saying of like, they're not the right type. It's all bullshit. All of it. Cast the best actor. Cast who's got chemistry. Cast good people. I wrote easygoing. I cast an easygoing person, someone who's easy to work with, over a talented person any day of the week. It'll make your rehearsal process so much more enjoyable. Don't go with the diva. Go with the easygoing person, okay? When I work professionally, I now ask for references. I didn't used to, but now I do. After just working professionally, I'll call people and be like, tell me what it's like to work with this actor. If you're working with someone you've never worked with before, ask around. What are they like to work with? Are they nice? Are they easygoing? Are they reliable and dependable? The same way you would for a job interview, right? There's no reason you shouldn't get references. Okay, so let's say you've got your cast. Yay, and a lot of you do. Time to prep your book, okay? Big questions that we're asking, similarly to our last lecture. Who is our protagonist? What is their journey? What are the important steps they take to get there? Write those down. What are the highs and lows of the scene, and how can I stage those physically and make it clear to an audience? You are now the director. You need to be looking at it from the audience's perspective from now on. As you're watching this, what's clear, what's unclear, what's funny, what isn't funny, what do I hate as an audience, what do I love? Am I watching the right things? And that's what we're going to talk about today, which is blocking. Here is the green show that I did at North Dakota Shakespeare Festival last year. Let's talk about blocking today. This is not film, right? I can't just zero in on someone's facial reaction. That is not enough. I have to physically stage how a character gets from point A to point B. Okay? You need to think like a film director in that, like, this is what my audience needs to see. This is what's important for my character's journey. This is what's important for story. But as a theater director, you need to stage it in a way where I, as an audience, know where to look. That was a change in that character. I know to look there. That was important for me to see. I know to look there. Yeah? You can draw our attention with noise and with strong movement. Yeah? That's what we're going to talk about next. Drawing focus. Okay, we're going to talk about standard proscenium power positions. The picture you guys see to the right is from my production of Julius Caesar with the Shakespeare Project last year, okay? That was staged in a 3/4 thrust at the Anniston Performing Arts Center. But where you guys are going to be performing is a standard proscenium, okay? So power positions for a standard proscenium are center stage facing the audience, downstage, center, facing the audience. If you want me to look at something, you put somebody there and you have them facing out. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but the second most powerful place is center stage with their back to the audience. And you guys might be like, what are you talking about? If any of you saw Guys and Dolls at Jacksonville State University last year, I did a really important moment like this, where Sky came down and said to the audience, he said, I'm going to roll the dice, right? And basically, I'm going to roll the dice for your souls. Then I had him do a strong turn and his back was to the audience and he said, who's in with me? And what we did was we saw Sky and then we looked at all the reactions from the other gamblers. And it was a really strong moment. Yeah. So that is a very powerful thing. A lot of people will tell you, a lot of dumb directors will tell you, you can't ever put your back to the audience. That is a lie. You absolutely can put your back to the audience. This idea of cheating out, it's kind of bullshit, and it's really like a high school way of teaching blocking. Okay, we say open up, or you have them cross in a way where they open up. But having people stand with like their right foot in front and their left foot out, and then the other person with their left foot in front and their right foot out, it just looks awkward. Okay, you need to create movement that makes the actor's work expressive. But telling an actor to cheat out, it's actually bad blocking. Yeah, you can totally have your back to an audience, and in fact, it will most likely make me look to the actor who is facing the audience. It helps to draw focus. So use those. Downstage right is our next power position because we as an audience read left to right. Okay, next one is downstage left, followed by upstage right and upstage left. Okay, if you really want me looking at something, it better be center stage or downstage right. Okay, why is blocking important? It shows changes in a character that can be shown in strong movement, okay? If there's a strong shift, I need to see someone step back. It's not enough for them to just show it on their face. It would be in film, I can zero in on their face. But on the stage, if you want me to notice a change in character, I need what I call a physical or vocal shift. They lean back. They step back, they cross, they turn out. I need a strong physical and vocal shift. Changes can also be shown in stillness. If somebody's moving, and then an idea pops into their head, they stop moving. That also shows a shift. I'm actually doing that right now with my Don Pedro in Much Ado About Nothing. He's moving, then I have him snap and he says, she would make an excellent wife for Benedict. Yeah, great way to show changes, okay? I always ask, and for my professional actors, I will say, can you give me a physical shift there? I need a shift for the audience, and they know how to take that. That's good actor language, especially if they don't have a line, right? If we need to see a shift in their character, but they don't have a line, you can show that physically. Bobby's a good example in Company. If he has no lines, the man doesn't talk. But if I needed him to have a change, I would say, you need to cross down center here and then pull your head up so that we, the audience, know, ooh, something happened to Bobby just now. Yeah. Actor language. This is so important. You guys are now going to be working with actors. And many of you have been on the other side of the table where a director was giving you directions. I want you guys to think about really quickly, who are your favorite directors and why? How do they talk to you? How do they run the rehearsal room? Blah, 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 blah. My favorite directors are the ones who know how to talk to actors. They talk to me in words like objective. Hey, Carrie, what do you want in this scene? I want Don Pedro to understand where I'm coming from. Awesome. I want him to leave the room. Awesome. What are the tactics you're using to get that? Well, right now I'm threatening him. Great. That is actor language, okay? Those are things that they can talk to you back. They have a voice on, yeah? That is the language you want to use. I'm going to do another slide in a minute about what not to say, what makes a bad director, okay? Talk about relationships. How do you guys feel about each other? Are you brother and sister? Do you hate him? Do you not hate him? Yada, yada, yada. What is your inner monologue? AKA, if you don't have a line, what's going on in your head at that moment? Usually it's something along the line of, oh crud, oh dang it, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I sometimes do an exercise where I'll go, do the whole scene, but I want you to speak out your inner monologue. And that usually what that brings out of them is like facial reactions and movement, usually that physicalizes their state of mind to the audience. When I come to your guys' rehearsals, I will definitely help you with this. But inner monologues are so important for actors. And ask them that. Hey, if nothing's going on upstairs and you're like, wow, they're just not reacting, ask them, what's your inner monologue right now? What's going on in your head? And they may not have one. And then you need to be like, okay, let's figure it out because you need one. The magic if. Now, this is a Stanislavski thing. If you have a bad actor, I will say, if you, Dylan, and not that Dylan's a bad actor, I'm just using Dylan as an example. If you, Dylan, were in this situation, how would you, Dylan, react? And sometimes they'll become better actors overnight just by saying that, okay? Another one is sensory recall. A lot of the time we give people fake props. Here's a cup of coffee. There's not actually coffee in it. It looks like you're drinking an empty cup. So how do we make that more real? We do what's called sensory recall. I need to feel that the cup is hot. I need to smell the smell of coffee, and then I can really believe I'm drinking it. Yeah, if you've got an actor who you're like, wow, I'm just not believing that you're digging into the ground or that you're doing things that they can't actively do on stage, have them do some sensory recall, okay? If you guys don't know who Uta Hagen is, I would strongly encourage you to read her book. Our next lecture is actually going to be about object exercises. I'll upload that next Sunday, and it's Uta Hagen's book, and it's all about these different exercises that make your actors better, and they're things that you guys can do in rehearsal, especially since you're working with community theater actors, okay? So here's like some good example of good language versus bad language, okay? Let's start with the bad language. Hey, Daryl, I need you to be angrier in this scene. That is a terrible note. Why? It's just telling Daryl to play the emotion. Now in life, I don't wake up and go, I'm going to be angry today, right? I'm angry because of the circumstances. I got in a car accident and I don't have the money to pay to fix my car, so now I'm pissed, right? But I didn't like go into that being like, I'm going to be angry. So how would I give Daryl that note? Let's say on stage, I do need him to be angrier. He's not angry enough. Yeah, what would I say? Daryl, what do you want in this scene? Yeah, you want your daughter to stand up for herself, and she isn't, right? Go after that objective more. What is your tactic to get her there? Oh, it's to force her out. It's to manhandle her. Great, then do it. I also give blocking. If I need him to be angrier, you know what I'd say? Daryl, can you hit the table on that line? Naturally, Daryl is going to get angrier. But if you ask Daryl to just play a general mood, he's not acting. He's just playing randomly angry. That's not acting. He needs to be going after something, and the emotion should be the byproduct of that objective. Does that make sense? That is bad directorial language, okay? And if you guys ever do work professionally, you're not going to meet too many actors who are going to respond well to that. It's really frustrating to me when a director's like, be sadder. I'm like, okay, why? Instead of, do you realize what's just happened to you in this scene? I feel like you're not really absorbing it, Carrie. I don't see you really hearing this and reacting to it. And then I go, okay, I need to go back and really listen to that. The reason I do that, guys, is because oftentimes we react differently to certain things. Sometimes I laugh when I should be sad. Sometimes I scream when maybe I should be happy. And you don't want to stifle that kind of creativity from your actors, okay? This is another thing I do. Instead of saying, remember, so another bad language thing. So that was bad. Chloe, let me just show you what I want. Ooh, red flag, red flag. The last thing you want is to show your actors how they should be doing it, basically, because then it becomes mechanical, and now they're doing what you would do as opposed to what they can do, and it just doesn't look good in their body. So instead you say, and I'll use a Shakespeare line in this case, but like so in Much Ado About Nothing that I'm directing right now, there's a line where Leonata, who thinks her daughter is no longer a virgin, says, "Can she here deny the princes and Claudio who so loved her?" Yeah, let's say my Leonata right now didn't deliver that correctly last night. What I said was, hey, Emily, your operative words are deny, princes, and love. Try that line again. And here she now says, can she here deny what the princes have said who so loved her? That's exactly how I wanted her to say that line. All I said was, here are your operative words. Those are the words you need to hit. Yeah? But do not speak the line for them unless you're in some kind of dire circumstance. Yeah, red flag, red flag, red flag. Yeah, again, what does your character want? And the stakes aren't high enough. If your actors can get angry enough, or happy enough, or sad enough, say, I don't feel like you care about this person enough, or I don't think you want this enough. Can you show me that you really want this? Can you show me that you really care for this person? And I guarantee they will get bigger, louder, faster. Do not say, we need to go faster. That is a terrible directorial note. Hey guys, we need to talk faster. Why do we talk faster in life? We have urgency, right? That's the word I use. I don't feel like there's enough urgency. I don't feel like you really want your son to put the frying pan down or to turn the stove off. And if you really want something, you talk faster, you talk louder, and you get bigger. That is the language you need to use. I don't feel like you're fighting for this. I need you to really go after your objective. Can we put more urgency behind it? Or a lot of the time what I'll say this is, hey guys, let's put some imaginary circumstances on this. You need to do this now because your wife is about to have a baby and you need to be at the hospital. Let's see how much faster now you talk. They're going to talk a lot faster. But if you just tell them to talk faster, it's not coming from the character's perspective. The character has no reason to talk faster other than that their director told them to. That's bad directing. Give them a reason. Give their character a reason to talk faster or to talk louder or to be bigger. Does that make sense? If that doesn't, let me know. Okay? Let's say you've got a really bad actor. And we've got them. We work in community theater. Okay, guys? The important thing when working with a bad actor is to start small, okay? I do this exercise with my college students where they sit across from each other, sitting in a chair with knees touching, and you say, look at each other's eyes. Eye contact is everything. Look at each other and now ask the question. Where were you last night between the hours of 12 and 1? I did this with my Much Ado cast. Hero responds, I was with no man at that hour, my lord. I start small so that they can really look at each other and really respond. Now, I can't perform that, not that slow. Right now it's, I ask you, I charge you on your life, what man was it that you were with between the hours of 12 and 1? I was with no man at that hour, my lord. But because we started small, they were able to look and really respond. Okay, you can speed it up after that. Okay, getting someone to talk louder or to be bigger is so easy. But if they're not listening, if they're not actually listening to what their partner is saying and then responding, doesn't matter how loud they are, they're just a bad actor. Yeah. Start small, get them to listen, have them paraphrase in their own words. I do this with Shakespeare all the time. Okay, so if it's a really convoluted speech, um, let's do Beatrice's in Much Ado About Nothing, since that's what I'm working on right now. Beatrice starts with, "What fire is in mine ears? How, can I be condemned for scorn? Can I be condemned for shame and scorn so much? Contempt farewell, and made in pride adieu, and Benedict love on." Well, that's not a Shakespeare, whatever. Let's put that in my own words. Holy shit! Did y'all just hear what I heard? Can I really be, are my friends really going to say all this awful things about me because I can't be in love? Well, fine. I guess I'll stop being a bitch and I'll try being in love. Good, that was in my own words. Now I'm going to take that, right, and put it on the Shakespearean language. None of you have heightened text for your one acts, but sometimes that can really, really help, okay? Have them put it into their own words. If it gets to a place where you're like, "Carrie, they still suck. They're not taking my notes." Oh my God, just call me. I'll come fix it, okay? Sometimes, and if you're having a difficult actor, someone who isn't taking your notes, I guarantee if they hear it from me and from you, they will start listening. Sometimes I'll just bring in people. I've had this trouble just being a really young director working with older actors where they don't listen to me. And I'm like, well, if the note comes from my dramaturg who's 80 years old and has a PhD, sometimes they listen a little bit better. I, I don't care what it takes to have a good show, and neither should you. Yeah, if you've got a difficult actor, do what it takes for them to take the note. Make it do some awful manipulative thing where all of a sudden it's their idea. Who cares? As long as you have a good show, it doesn't matter. Okay? Organization. Last but definitely not least. This is so important, y'all. You want people to work with you and you want people to respect you. You need to be on time. First and foremost as a director, okay? Your pre-blocking needs to be done. The worst directors are the ones who come in and say, "I don't know what we're going to do today. We'll figure it out." Are you kidding me? I volunteered to act in this thing. Don't you dare waste my time. Start on time and end on time. Each page will take about an hour to block. That's how you can plan your rehearsals, okay? Do not waste your actors' time for any reason. For any reason. You have to come prepared. You cannot expect things from them if you yourself are unorganized. Okay, you guys? And the worst directors, professionally, amateurly, and otherwise, are the ones who make it up on the spot. Don't be that director. Be freakishly prepared. Those are the best directors, okay? Rehearsal schedule, okay? A schedule needs to be sent out at least a week in advance to your actors. They're volunteering for this thing. Okay, don't waste their time. Lay out clear expectations. I do this from the get-go. I say, "Hey guys, I'm Carrie. Let me tell you how I work. I block very quickly because I like to see the show as a whole. Here are some other things you need to know about me. I expect my actors to do their homework. I expect my actors to get to know each other, go out to lunch, because I'm not going to do that here. I'm not going to play a bunch of games and play kumbaya. If you want to feel comfortable with your love interest on stage, you guys better go on a fake date because I'm not going to do that here. Now, in community theater, I might, but in professional theater, I'm like, that's a waste of my time. Okay? I expect you guys to get to know each other and to figure that shiz out. Okay? I tell them this day is off book day. I tell them when the performance days are, the tech days are, and my expectation for those. You will need to be here from 6 to 10. You will need to be here from here to here. Don't plan anything else, okay? Here's your off blocking day, the last day I expect you to know your blocking, and here's the last day to call line. Here's my phone number, here's my email, reach me if you have anything. I'm really cool, but I'm organized. Yeah? That's what you want to go in with, okay? We've got two different types of directors. As you guys move forward, this is also kind of into organization. Interpretive directors, people who kind of translate the play, and then playwright as the playwright would have wanted, and creative directors, those of us that have really big concepts. Like Company had a big concept. Much Ado About Nothing has a big concept. Interpretive directors are the ones who are like, what did the playwright want? Make that clear to your cast. Okay, that will change the way they perform something. That very first rehearsal, you need to say, "Hey, we're doing Much Ado About Nothing, and we're going to set it in Austen land. That's my concept, yeah? I'm setting it in Jane Austen land. Here's why. I want it to be witty. I want it to be very gendered. This is very much about boys versus girls. This whole play is. I love how handsome the men look in this time period. I love that the women are intelligent and know how to use their words in this time period. And I think it'll look so beautiful in University Park. That's why. Yeah? If you are doing it the other way, here are the playwright's intents. Here's where I think you guys should take it, yada, yada, yada. Share that with your actors, okay? This is more about a directorial concept, but I'm going to skip that since we went over that last time, okay? Write everything down. I have a separate notebook for every single play I work on. So I can go back, check notes, see whatever. I should have written my concept down. I should have written ideas I had, things I think about in certain lines, blah, blah, blah. You want to write it all down, okay? So let's say we're doing Uncle Vanya. A lot of you don't know that play. Check off, good stuff, okay? I want to set Uncle Vanya, let's say this is my concept, in contemporary America during the Great Recession in 2008. Because, and then here's my concept sentence, let's say, Uncle Vanya is a story about a family who is struggling to survive in a world that is constantly beating them down to the brink of financial destruction, social ruin, and familia conflict. Beautiful. Look at all these I'd probably build a set that was falling apart. I'd probably, you know what I mean? Lovely concept, okay? I'd write all these other ideas down too, though. The family enjoyed wealth and prosperity, but lost it all in the collapse of the financial system. The setting is Manhattan penthouse that is falling down and decaying. That house represents the former grandeur of the family. Blah, blah. Write all your ideas down in one notebook so you can go back and check them. I love to make Pinterest boards, both as for your designers, but for myself. Yelena, let's start character by character. What images pop up when I think of her? And they can be literal, like this one, I want her to wear this, or it could be, I found this abstract painting, and it just reminds me of Yelena. Look how it's dripping. Look at the colors. Look at whatever. I'm doing the Scottish play this summer for the Shakespeare Project, and we have this incredible Pinterest board with lots of reds and blues and like streaming bleak colors, starched colors, yeah? Those Pinterest boards are awesome, and you definitely want to use those, okay? Set inspiration. What pictures have you found that inspire you? Show those to the cast. If you're set in a jail, what does that jail look like? It would look something like this. It'd be dingy like this. Even though we might only have rehearsal blocks, guys, if you had $1 million, what would your set look like? Draw it, find pictures of it. All that kind of stuff will inspire you and show your actors. If you showed me a picture of, let's say, like this, but we only had rehearsal blocks, I would still be able to like find that darkness, that coldness, the smell of the room. Show me that picture. That'll help me as an actor. Yeah, props and set pieces. Again, show me this, okay? Even though our couch is, let's say, not going to look like that, show that to me. Show me what we used to have. Maybe we used to have something like this, and now we live here. I'm a good actor. I can work with that. Yeah? And lights. We won't have a ton of lights where we're going, but if we did, what would they look like? Show your cast. That will inspire them. Yeah? All of that stuff will inspire them. The last thing I was going to say, you guys, is the importance of communication and respect, both for yourself and for your cast, okay? They are volunteering for this, okay? In a professional setting, what I tell my stage manager all the time, of course I'm respectful to my cast, but I will say all the time, you're getting paid for this. It's all good. You know what I mean? Your cast is volunteering, okay? And really good actors will give you the best ideas. If your ultimate goal is to have the best show, the most important thing for you to remember is that there can be no room for ego in the rehearsal room. If an actor has a better idea than you, you'd be an idiot not to take that. Don't be the all high and mighty, all-knowing director. You guys are all beginners, okay? All of you. None of us know shit. I have an MFA in directing and I don't know shit, okay? I have no problem, and this is something I never want to lose. If I have an actor who has a better idea than me, you better believe I'm going to use it. Why? Because my ultimate goal is to have a kick-ass show. Not to be macho human in charge, but to have a good show. And that's what you got to remind yourself. It's not about you. It's not about them. It's about the work. It's about the play, and it's about the audience. So get your ego out of the room and get theirs out of the room. Okay? Listen. Listen to your actors, listen to your production team. If someone says they have a problem with something, listen to it. If you have an audience member or a friend come in and say, this doesn't make sense, listen to it. The worst directors are the ones who can't take notes. I had 2 classmates in grad school who got kicked out of the program because they never learned how to take a note. Fred would say, this is crap and you need to reblock it. And they would cry and fight instead of just saying, okay, Fred, thank you. I will do that. Get your ego out of the room. I say sometimes you have to kill a baby, kill a creative baby. Sometimes we have these brilliant ideas that we just love. And then we show them to someone and they're like, ooh, it doesn't make sense. In fact, it's confusing. It's ugly. You need to kill that baby. You need to be able to create a baby and then kill it. Yeah, if it doesn't work, you have to. Okay? The best directors are the ones who can take notes and listen and improve. And the worst ones are the ones who think they're the shit and already know everything about anything and don't need nobody. Those are the worst directors. You need to be able to take a note, okay? You make mistakes too. Just own up to them. Your cast will respect you more if you just say, God, guys, I'm so sorry. I say this all the time where I go, bad directing, bad directing. Can we please change that? I'm so sorry. And of course they'll say yes. Hey guys, my fault. I didn't mean to do this. I didn't mean to waste everyone's time. Can we please do this instead? Of course you're going to make mistakes, and your actors will respect you the more if you own up to them and before you change them. My biggest qualms with both directors and just previous bosses I've had are the ones who don't own up to just being human. Yeah, just own up to being human. Apologize and say thank you. Say thank you. It goes such a long way. I know we went 5 minutes over. I just wanted to tell each and every one of you how much I appreciate you, because I do. Yeah, my work is important to me and I see the effort you're putting in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That goes a long way. Just say thank you. All right, y'all? Last but not least, notes. After every run, when you guys start getting into runs, you're going to start taking notes. Always do notes in person. Every time I send them out an email, they either don't read them or there's confusion. You do them in person so that actors can ask questions and so that you can see that they heard them and they understand where it's coming from, okay? Mikey at JSU does this thing where he wants actors to say thank you after each note. I don't go that formal. I'm just like, hey, Chloe, here's your note. You got it? You understand it? Good, moving on. Okay, yeah? If the note isn't taken, aka you see it in the next run and it's still wrong, it needs to be worked. You need to say, hey, let's work that tomorrow. I'm not, that's clearly not registering with you. I need to go back and work it. Yeah. Ask for consistency. When I get to the last week of shows, I will say, hey guys, I want to see the same show tonight that we did yesterday. The best directors are the ones who finally say, no, we need to set it. I want consistency, and we need consistency. I was in My Fair Lady for a whole year, y'all. I needed to perform the same show for an entire year, and it needed to be the same show. Why? Because that's what my director intended. The same show, because it's a different audience every night, but it needs to be the same show. Ask for consistency. Okay. The best the compliment that I can give to a cast is, congratulations, everybody. The show I saw tonight was the show we rehearsed. Congratulations. Yeah, that's what you're aiming for. All right, y'all. Last but not least, push. Night before opening, something still isn't working. It's never too late to get it right. Okay? This is the last thing in rehearsal. Never feel like, oh, Carrie, but I'm out of time. Is the curtain up? Is the audience in their seats? It's never too late to get it right. I'm not even joking. Guys and Dolls last year at JSU, I was re-choreographing 15 minutes before opening night. I'm not even kidding. We were up in the black box, re-choreographing one part. It is never too late to get it right, okay? Never stop pushing. Here's a lovely picture of my production of 12th Night from last year. We had this tent moment, and it literally took us till moments before the audience was sitting down for us to get it right. Push, push, push for perfection. Ask for your perfection from your cast, even in community theater. You'd be surprised. They rise to the occasion. All right, y'all, that's it for today, okay? Last things, please send me your rehearsal schedule once they're in place. I'm in North Dakota for 2 more weeks, but then I'm home, and I really want to come see one rehearsal where I see you guys blocking and working with your cast, and then one rehearsal of just a run through so I can take notes, all right? Keep me posted on all the wondrous things, and keep up to date on Facebook. Let me know if anyone has any issues with casting. I'm going to send royalty information to Lynn hopefully Sunday. So keep me posted, y'all. You're rock stars. Carrie Colton out.